Hi everyone, welcome to the channel dedicated to sharing the profound insights and wisdom of Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. If you're new here, you're in for a journey that expands your mind and consciousness, bringing you closer to understanding the messages from the fifth density Andromedan extraterrestrials. For those returning, we're grateful for your continued support. Before we dive into today's enlightening content, we have a small favor to ask. If you find value in the knowledge shared in this video, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your engagement helps us amplify Alex Collier's message, allowing us to reach a larger audience with these vital messages. We'd also love to hear from you, so please engage with the comments below. Whether it's a question, your thoughts, or even just an emoji for the sake of engagement, every comment counts. We read every single comment, and your feedback is incredibly valuable to us, as it all contributes to our mission of expanding this community. So please don't hesitate to leave your thoughts below. Additionally, if you'd like to support us further, consider giving a super thanks tip by clicking the heart with the $sign. This small gesture allows us to continue bringing you more of Alex's messages, unfiltered and directly from his lifelong experiences with the Andromedans. Today's video includes a compilation of several of the many important questions Alex Collier has received over the past few years, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video.
The geological history of Earth can be seen in the walls of the Grand Canyon, but scientists say there is a period of over 1 billion years that is simply missing. They call it the Great Unconformity. Do you know what this represents?
I have a theory. I have a theory about that. A billion years in the universe, that's in the expansion of the universe and the age of the universe and of all things. That's like a year. It has been said that there was a time where our planet was in a higher dimension. And it fell into time in order to experience that which we are all experiencing. That the planet herself, and others have done this, that they have fallen into time, to a place, just like we as souls have fallen into time to have an experience. Is it possible that that missing billion years is where it was before it fell into our time? Now, I say this not having any evidence or proof, but the frequency of the dimension it was in, whether it was fourth or fifth, that frequency, that solidity that it had there could not transform itself into third density in any way, shape, or form. So therefore, there's evidence that it was there, but because of the frequency of it and the fact that it could not translate into third density in any way, shape, or form, the evidence of it is there, but the physicalness of it cannot be here. Cannot be here. And I say this because Earth wants to go to fifth density. That's her goal. And she's going to go with or without us. So, is she in fact going back home? Has she had enough of this and that she wants to go back to her home, which would be 5D? Remember, the A's and other races have said that, we would go into fourth, and then from fourth, others would get off, and many people that are here, souls that are here, are from fourth density. They would get off and go into their loved ones and their soul groups, etc. And then the remainders would continue on the journey into fifth. That's what makes me think this. That's why this makes sense. I knew of the conformity question. And it I could be completely wrong, or this makes complete sense. Time will tell, won't it? It always does. So that was a good question. Thank you very much for that.
Back in 2016, with each webinar, you were giving. Yes, it's on. Back in 2016, with each webinar, you were giving regular updates about the pending arrival of Nibiru into our solar system. The situation was so scary that the military made preparations for the gravitational catastrophe by tidal waves. You also said Nibiru had a solar system of moons orbiting it. Now, here we are in 2024, and according to Elena, Nibiru is parked in orbit of Jupiter with Ea corroborating with Ea collaborating with the Alliance. How did we get from that dire 2016 situation to now, and what happened to the moons orbiting Nibiru? Words can't express how much I appreciate you. You get all that.
That's Alex, right? Alex from LA?
Alex from LA, yes.
Okay. If you remember, one of the last things that I said about that, which was back in 2016, was that it had stopped. All right? That system had stopped. And I'm not sure what they did with Hercules, the red dwarf. I'm not sure where that thing is at the moment. But the planetary system itself has stopped, and it's been stopped for that amount of time. It's still outside our solar system. And I told you guys that's from the old library webinars, that it had stopped. And it's still there. The good thing is, this is my own personal take on it, is that the king and the other prince are still back in their original star system of Betelgeuse. That's where they are. They're not here. Which is probably why things are calm for the most part. Okay? I have said that I've been talking to him, and there's a lot of things I can't say. This is one of those things that I can't go into any more detail about. But I can absolutely share with you that when they decide to continue to move, and they move through our solar system, and they're in the southern position of our solar system, okay, that's where everything is. That we will be on the other side of the sun so we will not be dramatically affected by the gravitational field of Hercules, the dwarf star itself. You see, planets can become starships. You see. The nature of the universe and how things work, we've been very, very dumbed down and just given crumbs. Technology there is technology being used every day by star nations that is absolutely beyond our comprehension. But it's just like, but they use it every day, so it's like, it's as familiar to them as it is for us to use a cell phone. It's extraordinary. We have such a ways to go in order to catch up. Humanity is going to be given the opportunity to be able to stand on its own, which is what I told you guys years and years, 30 years ago, that they wanted us to stand on our own without being manipulated, because they truly wanted to see who we were when we were not being manipulated. We're going to be given that opportunity, which is why I talk about these other things, about becoming line, personal sovereignty, the law of consistency, filling the voids of power. That's why I talk about these things, because I want us to make it. This planet, this race, with the genetics that it has, with our extremes of emotions, is simply remarkable. Yes, we are capable of doing terrible things. But on the other side of that, we are capable of healing with love. We are capable of just overwhelming compassion and generosity. That expression of love is so profound here with us that there are other star nations in higher dimensional realms who stand in awe of our ability to feel. And I told you this 35 years ago as well. They're still in awe. And they used to say, how come they don't get it? That's what the A's used to say to me. How come your people don't get this? And they're not saying that anymore. They're not saying that anymore. Now the conversation is, how do we help them? How do we help them and self-empower them at the same way, in the same time? That's what they're working on with other nations. How do we self-empower these people, this race, this civilization? Because they don't want to be worshipped. There are those that want to be worshipped, but they're not here now. And the last thing these guys, the benevolence, the alliance, etc., want is to be worshipped. They're like, they're so over that shit, And that would turn them off so fast, and they would just go home. Say, they're hopeless. This is why I keep telling you, they're not God. They have their stuff. They They process, you know, they process. You think they go home and it's kumbaya every day? They have wives, they have families. You know, they step in it every once in a while and get crap from their partner, just like we do. It's just that their arguments are telepathic. Okay? The neighbors don't hear it. But they all have stuff. We're not all that different. Yes, they're smarter. Yes, they're more evolved. Yes, they live longer. Yes, they have incredible technology. But they're still people. They're still people. You know?
Hey, I hope you're enjoying today's video. Want to stay up to date with all the latest news from Alex Collier? Don't miss out. Sign up for his free email newsletter at alexcollier.news and be the first to know about his live webinars, new revelations, and exclusive insights. It's quick and easy, and you'll never miss an important update. Just click the link in the description or head to alexcollier.news to sign up now. And now back to our regular scheduled content.
You talked a few weeks ago about inner Earth and the animals like the Loch Ness monster. Loch Ness is connected under the land to another 4 lochs, and I am now asking myself, what else is Loch Ness connected to underneath? From my heart, I thank you and the team for all you do. Also sent you 2 emails to Ivanhoe1818 with attachments. Oh, good luck with that. How far backlogged are you with 1818?
Was that Ivanhoe or
The Ivanhoe,
or
yeah.
Galahad? Did he say Galahad or
Ivanhoe?
Ivanhoe? Oh, I'll look for it, Ian. I'll put in your name, and I'll see. If not, send me your email. Send your email to James, and James will forward it to me. I know he has a lot to do, but James is very good about forwarding stuff to me, and I look at that because that's in a special folder. I look at that stuff right away. Okay. Was there a question to that?
Yeah. Right, hang on. I've got to go and get it back. Hang on. Loch Ness. Loch Ness is connected. Yeah. What else is Loch Ness connected to underneath?
The Stephosaurus, I think it's called, or there's. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. You know, I don't know if they're down there or not. I haven't been to the inner Earth. You know, what I am aware of is that a lot of the aquatic life we had and have on this planet, most of it was not indigenous here. It was brought here. And because it came from different ecosystems and different life structures, in order for them, these animals, these ocean dwelling souls, they would have to be genetically modified in order to be able to live and survive in this type of an eco environment, Earth environment. A lot of that work was done around Uranus and in Uranus. I've been telling people this since the 90s. There is a lot of aquatic life there that we would recognize here. Now, I don't know that they're exactly the same. The salt is exactly the same. The water's exactly the same. I don't know that it is. But the prototype is in the oceans of Uranus. Maybe one day somebody will get around to sending some satellites there. and stop dicking around and telling us exactly what's going on in our own solar system. But they're trying. There's the Artemis Accords, and Elena talks about Jupiter and Saturn, and JP is also talking about our solar system and the things that are going on here, and in the Earth, a lot of brave souls, a lot of brave souls. There's no glory in this, guys. There just isn't. But we do it because we care, because we do it because somebody has to do it. And we do it because nobody else will. Mornay shared with me that when they had reached out to, I remember I told you there were 4 of us originally. 2, they didn't handle the contact well at all. One shared with his family and his community what he had experienced, and he was so ostracized he ended up committing suicide. The other, his family just convinced him to have nothing to do with it. And so he said no. The third actually reached out to me from Brazil, I believe it was Brazil, and asked me how it was going, and that he knew Mornay. And it had been decades since he had seen him and told him no. And he asked if he had made a mistake and what it was like, day to day going through all this. And I was perfectly candid with him that I would never have done this again. That I wouldn't do this again. And I guess that's the answer he wanted, because he wished me well. And, he said, I'll continue to pray for you. And that's the last I've heard from him. So, the times are changing. It appears that more and more people are open now. And those that are coming forward or will come forward currently now and those in the future. If I had some advice for them, it would be simply this. Your purpose is to help humanity, not to become a rock star. Your purpose is to build a bridge between the knowledge that you have and are given and humanity. That doesn't make you a gatekeeper. And the acknowledging humanity and educating humanity and enlightening humanity to stand in its own power is not a business. It is not a business. It's a commitment. And I'm just concerned that some are becoming rock stars. And when that happens, you lose focus on what's important. You do. And then it becomes about you. It has nothing to do about you. It has to do with humanity. That's the purpose of you being in that position, is to help humanity. And there's no higher calling. Sadly, most people don't get that, or they don't see that. They don't understand that, you know, we're here for a lifetime, maybe several, maybe dozens, who knows? But you didn't come from here. You came from source. We all did. And in that knowing that you've come from source, then you also know that this is not a career. Okay? This is an obligation. This is an agreement. This is a mission of sorts to come here and to share not only your own personal vibration and frequency of all that you are leading back to source, but to help others rise up and stand up on their own. You know, rise and rise again until lambs become lions. That's what this is about. You know, the galaxy needs you to be lions. You know, we're trying to get you to remember you're a lion. Okay. That's what we are. That's what we're supposed to be doing.
What is a red hat, as you understand it, please?
Well, I'm still a little fuzzy on the whole red hat thing, but my understanding, or the way it's being characterized, is that you have your black hats, you have your white hats. The red hats are like, fuck this, I'm not waiting anymore. And they just take an action. And they're not looking for a justification from either side. They're just doing what they feel they need to do. More like a vigilante kind of an energy. At least that's how I'm interpreting the information I have now, and it's incomplete. The information I have is completely incomplete. So, I guess there's a time and a place for that. I do not know how appropriate it is, if it's appropriate at all. It's hard to say. You know, the only way to truly judge whether it's the right thing to do or not is to be able to have that 300,000 foot view of everything that's going on. And unless you're in the PSYOPs boardrooms, you just don't know what the 300,000 foot view is. I can tell you, though, that what I have been told and what has been shared with me from the A's is that, and I'm not referring to Looking Glass here, although I have referred to it many times in the past, is that, you remember, and I shared this back in the 90s, that tyranny showed up in their time. Well, what would be the tyranny? Is it that this AI system used us as portals to create pathways to other dimensions and to flip the frequency? Is that possibly what happened? He's never been that open to answer that question fully. And I could see now why he would not share that information with me, because number one, I wouldn't understand it, but he knew I'd talk about it, and it wasn't time to talk about it. But if that's what this is, and that's why they've come back in time to right a terrible wrong, in other words, to assist us, because what happens here affects the rest, and not just on one dimension, but on many dimensions. Well, I'm very comfortable in saying that I'm sure they've got this. I am sure that they have this. And it could very well be that, and I'm just going to give you a perspective here, because this is an op that has happened before, not on Earth, but in other realms. What they'll do is they will allow this to get to a specific point to where the civilization is fully aware of what's happened to itself. They understand. And it's journaled, it's registered, it's recorded in history. Then what they do is they go back to a future time, beyond that point, in front of that point, and they completely derail it. Okay? Some of you could say, and they change that future. Now, some of you on this planet would refer to that as the mandala effect. And what they'll do is they'll completely derail that agenda. But it is still recorded in history that it happened. And what that does is it makes the civilizations aware in the future not to go down this road again, because they know that something happened. In our case, I'm going to guess that they will derail this completely, okay, in our past, but they will make sure that we are fully aware not to screw with AI, except in these circumstances, and not to play with this kind of fire ever again, so that future civilizations know. This kind of thing was never meant to happen here, and it never should have happened here. You know, but there are beings that don't play by any rules. It's survival at any cost, winning at any cost. And collateral damage is absolutely part of the game with these beings. Well, humanities, our civilization, Terrans, and the ones previous to us have been collateral damage, ladies and gentlemen, the shit that's gone on here. I don't want to be collateral damage. I don't want my children to be collateral damage. I don't want your children to be collateral damage. I don't want future generations to be collateral damage. Absolutely not. So I'm really curious to see how this is all going to play out now that we're becoming aware of another huge piece and an attack on who we are physically and spiritually. You know, a lot of people will get stuck, oh my God, they did this to my bodies, and they won't pay attention to the fact that they have multidimensional structures in their brain. They won't connect that. Because why isn't everybody talking about the Blue Brain Project? Why isn't everybody talking about this? This proves the soul. This proves the existence of source. This proves multi-dimensions. It's the whole kit and caboodle. This is quantum physics. There it is in our heads. It should be being talked about everywhere. And the reason it's not is because it gives us a stick. It gives us power, self-knowing, self-awareness. And if you're self-aware, you can't be manipulated. You can't be controlled. And the more they try, the bigger the FUs get. Because they can't put you into fear when you know. And that's all they've got. That's the only weapon left.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it insightful, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future updates. If you have any questions relating to today's video, please also leave them below. We read all the comments and take on board what our viewers have to say about Alex Collier's work. Remember, your support helps Alex Collier's knowledge and the messages from the Andromedans reach more people. If you'd like to support the channel even more, you can give us a super thanks tip by clicking the heart icon with a $sign. It really helps our team bring you more content. Also, be sure to visit alexcollier.org to sign up for our regular email newsletter. It's the best way to stay updated with the latest news, exclusive content, and upcoming live webinars. For the latest insights from Alex Collier, check out alexcollier.live. And if you want to explore over 250 past webinars, head over to alexcollier.tv. Thank you for being a part of this journey and supporting Alex Collier's work. We couldn't do this without you, and we're genuinely grateful for your support. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the vast mysteries of our universe. If you would like to see the Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.